What's up, guys? We are back with a full NBA slate here on Wednesday, November 27th. We're going to break down every game on this massive slate and look at bets on the side and over-under. And once injury news is confirmed, I'll be adding player props in the pinned comment for several of these games. So don't forget to check back in there on the pinned comment in the early afternoon. Tuesday went okay, guys. We nailed both of our sides. We had Chicago minus 4.5. They got a blowout win there. No shocker there. Like to cash that first one, getting off to a good start. We also had Houston plus 3.5. Took them a little bit longer. They ended up needing overtime, but they ended up winning straight up in that game. So cashing both of our sides, no big deal there. We had 5 player props that we added later in the day. The first one, Zach LaVine over 23.5 points, did not come through for us. Unfortunately, he had a pretty mediocre game despite the Bulls winning comfortably. We had Bam to get over on his rebounds. That did not happen, guys. Despite the fact he had 11 plus boards in 4 out of his last 5 games, he only had 5 or 6, something like that tonight. So not a great performance from him against the Bucks. Jalen Green under 19.5 points. That one was good as gold. He continues to struggle. We've still got marketing going. Over 21.5 points for him is looking like a bit of a long shot at this point as he continues to not have the best time. KD over 23.5 points is looking very, very good though. KD always seems to kill when coming back from injury, and this is not looking like any exception. So feeling okay about the night so far, guys. If you want to win all of your bets, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos, just like the Thanksgiving video that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And they get their names on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments makes me feel like all this work I put in every single day is worth it. Our videos are brought to you by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, NCAA basketball, NHL, and the UFC. This is the single best time of the year to sign up with our massive Black Friday sale. You can get a full week of premium picks for only $19 or a full month for only $69. We put a crazy amount of work into our premium content, and getting it at such a bargain here in the heart of the best time of the sports season with NFL, college football, and the NBA going on is a huge win for everyone. There's a link in the description of the video, or you can always just visit StumpTheSpread.com. Also, you want to be going over there to check our daily free picks, and you want to join our free email list to get free picks and the occasional premium pick straight to your inbox. If you're interested in peer-to-peer sports betting, where you can make your favorite bets against real people and pay only 1% juice, click the link in the description to check out betopenly.com, the best peer-to-peer betting site on the web. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day, guys. We've got the Miami Heat going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Heat come into this game probably a little bit disappointed, guys. They're fresh off a 106-103 loss there against the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, they played that one last night. They were in Miami, so they had to travel from Miami to Charlotte for this one. So yeah, things a little bit rough out there. The Bucks didn't even have Giannis for this game, and the Heat still ended up finding a way to lose. They gave up 37 points to Lillard, who also had 12 assists. The Bucks wasted a 22-point second half lead before eventually coming away with the win. So yeah, it was an NBA Cup game. It ended up being close, and we saw the Heat come out, on the short end of that one. So yeah, that probably feels pretty freaking bad, guys, especially with Giannis not even playing. Jimmy Butler had a big game, 23 points for him. Bam did okay, but really wasn't anything to write home about on the glass. We actually saw the Heat get out-rebounded in this game. 70 points from Terry Rozier in his return from injury. So he came back, firing on all cylinders, but yeah, just not a good enough day out there. 11 of 29 from 3, not a terrible night. They shot almost double the free throws that Milwaukee shot, but the Heat still not able to come away with a win. So not a great look there. They come into this game apparently going to be healthy. We'll see if anybody pops up on the injury report, tomorrow or something. But right now, it's looking like basically everyone except for possibly Kevin Love should be good to go in this game as they hop on the plane and head to Charlotte to take on the Hornets, who are 6-11 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of a 95-84 loss there against the Orlando Magic. So Charlotte continuing to have a little bit of a rough time. LaMelo Ball not having a rough time though, guys. 44 points from him, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He posted a -2 out there, but yeah, not able to put up those big numbers in winning efforts so far. At least he's had a couple big games recently, but not able to come up with wins for his team, which, at the end of the day, that really is the goal. But we love what we're seeing from the LaMelo Ball, some pretty cool stuff. The bench here for the Hornets not looking great. Brandon Miller playing well also, guys. guys. He had 20 points in the loss and 10 rebounds. He's showing some good stuff. So Charlotte, really a team that wants to be tanking this season, at least to some extent. They'd rather have a high draft pick. They know they're not competing this season. They need to add at least one more piece to this roster, probably a few more pieces, but we'll see what they can do here moving forward. In terms of their injury report, guys, we see Miles Bridges and Nick Richards both listed as out. Trey Mann is also on here, listed as out for the moment. Bridges, yeah, he's officially out for this game with that ongoing knee situation. That's going to be a problem for this team. Yeah, we see Richards, he won't be playing. His rib thing is still, flaring up, and Mann has also been officially ruled out for this game with his back issue. So looking at the numbers for this one, we see the Hornets are getting 3.5 points playing at home. We've got an over-under of 217.5. Miami, they're only 7-7 against the spread this year. Charlotte actually 10-7 against the spread. We've got an over-under, like I said, of 217.5. I would lean towards the under in this game pretty heavily, guys. The Heat are going to be tired. Charlotte, not a team that's, likely to put up a crazy amount of points, especially with the Heat, playing a down-tempo style of game. So lean towards the under 217.5, and I also think there's some reason here to like Charlotte and the points. Next up, guys, we've got the Atlanta Hawks. They're going on the road here to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Hawks come into this game fresh off a 129-119 loss there against the Dallas Mavericks. The Hawks also got fined $100,000 for sitting Trae Young in a NBA Cup game. That's not a great look for the league, and yeah, that's going to be a fine there for the Hawks. I don't know if they care too much about that. I'm not sure what their goals are right now this season with this group, but we'll see down the stretch. We'll see as the trade deadline gets a little bit closer. In that loss they just had against the Mavs, a 10-point loss to Dallas when they don't even have Luka. Probably not the best look. We saw Jalen Johnson put up 28 points there. Trae Young had 18. Dyson Daniels had 17, but none of that was really enough. They only shot 9 of 31 from 3. They got out-rebounded by quite a bit, so just not a banner day there for Atlanta. They come into this game relatively healthy. We do see Trae Young is on the injury report. He's dealing with, right Achilles tendonitis, so kind of just, maybe they want to rest him, maybe they want to sit him. Maybe they're hoping they can trade him to somebody, because right now it's very difficult to tell what really the, what are the Hawks aiming for this year? What are they trying to accomplish? They've got a lot of good role players. Does not seem like they have a good superstar in Trae Young. I don't think he's part of their long-term plans. Ricochet obviously is. Bogdanovich could be. We'll just see what happens down the stretch for this team, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see, and we'll see what they can do here taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who pretty clear what they want to do this season. They want to win a whole bunch of games. They are 17-1 on the year so far. They're coming off a 122-108 win there against the Toronto Raptors, so absolutely cruising at this point, guys. In that win, just great stuff as a team in this game. I mean, we saw all 5 starters scoring double figures. We saw Donovan Mitchell put up 26. Jarrett Allen put up 23. He was playing great. 10 of 14 there from the field, 13 boards. As a team, we saw Cleveland shoot almost 40% from three-point range. They ended up getting out-rebounded in the game, but still, having a comfortable win. Very, very good stuff up and down the lineup there for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as they are absolutely on cruise control right now. They do have a couple guys on the injury report. Karis LeVert still on there. Dean Wade on there. LeVert, he's been ruled out for this game officially with his ongoing knee issue. This team could get even better, once they have him back, constantly coming off the bench. And Dean Wade, he's got that ankle problem. He is going to be out for this game as well. So the bench looking a little bit banged up right now, but other than that, it's pretty good news for Cleveland, who they're 11.5 point favorites in this game. We've got an over-under of 239. Atlanta 6-12 against the spread this season. They're 13-5 to the over, which is an NBA best mark to the over. Cleveland, they're 14-4 against the spread, which is an NBA best against the spread mark. They are also 12-6 to the over. So we've got a lot of trends here pointing towards the over. If you wanted to take the over, I guess I wouldn't be too mad at it, but I'm not very interested in the over. I'm leaning more towards the Cavaliers to just handle business here comfortably as they go into the day off for Thanksgiving. I'm expecting the Cavaliers to absolutely roll in this one. Atlanta, guys, especially playing on the road here, I don't love what they're looking like, even getting 11.5 points. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Portland Trailblazers. They're going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Trailblazers come into this game 7-11 on the year, which honestly off to a better start than I would have guessed. This team was supposed to be pretty bad, and no, I'm not going to lie, they generally have been. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They come into this game fresh off a 25-point loss there at the Memphis Grizzlies, but they've done some good things this season. I have to give them a little bit of credit. They've won some games that I didn't think they would win. They're looking like they have some solid pieces. It'll be interesting to see what this squad does around, or this franchise more like it, does around the trade deadline, how aggressively they're going to be looking to sell some of these guys off, but we'll see how it goes. In their loss against Memphis, obviously not a lot of positives. They shot only 8 of 46 from three-point range, so that's not a great look. Sharp not having the worst day. He had 15 points, but Yeah, just not a ton of positives out there. The Portland Trailblazers, who have had some injury problems. Anthony Simons has been out for a bit. He came back and was real bad. Only 2 of 14 from the field. It was just a real bad day out there for the Portland Trailblazers in general. They didn't do a great job on the boards at all. They got dominated on the boards, and just a game they're going to want to forget as they continue on their way this season. I don't think it's going to be the most fun way, but we'll see, guys. Jeremy Grant on the injury list, Ayton on the injury list. This is a team that is going to want to tank things out. They're going to be having guys sit out. Donovan Clingan out, Robert Williams the third out, Scoot Henderson out. Like, I don't know how many of these guys positively affect winning. I would say that Jeremy Grant does, but he's doubtful. Ayton is questionable for this game. Clingan, he's going to be out. He's going to be reevaluated here in a couple weeks. Robert Williams III, he's in the concussion protocol, so he's going to be out, and Scoot is questionable there with his back issue. So a lot of moving pieces there for the Portland Trailblazers as they go on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers, who are not off to the start they imagined, guys. Only 8-10 on the season. They come into this game fresh off a 4-point win over the banged up Pelicans. Like, this is a Pacers team that was really good last year and playing at a high pace, and that was mostly due to Tyrese Halliburton playing amazing, and then the addition there of Siakam. But Halliburton's got off to a terrible start to his season, so we'll see if he can turn things around. He did turn it around a little bit there against the Pelicans, putting up 34 points and 13 assists. He made 9 3-pointers on the day, which is his best of the season. I mean, putting up 9 is pretty crazy stuff. So the Pacers fans have to be feeling a lot better after seeing that game. A very good day across the board there for the Pacers. I mean, we saw Siakam play well, but not have to carry the entire scoring load. We had some nice contributions from bench guys. Like, things suddenly look a lot brighter there for the Pacers, although they did all that against the Pelicans and they only won that game by 4. So let's not overreact too much. Coming into this one, the Pacers are relatively healthy. We do see Nembhard there on the injury report, guys. It's looking very unlikely. Yeah, he's going to miss at least 2 weeks here. So he's not going to be back for this game, or at least that's what it looks like right now. That was 16 days ago when he had that injury, and they said it was going to be 2 weeks. So we'll see how much longer it's going to be, but I don't think there's any reason to expect Nembhard back for this one. But other than that, the Pacers are healthy, and that's part of the reason they are big favorites in this game. The Pacers are minus 10.5. We've got an over-under of 229. Portland's actually 10-7-1 against the spread this year. Indiana 7-10-1 against the spread. Really widely varying trends here against the over-under, guys. Portland 11-6-1 to the under, an NBA best to the under mark. Indiana, though, 12-6 to the over. Guys, I'm going to be leaning towards the Pacers here, minus 10.5. I think they're determined to, put up some good, wins here heading into Thanksgiving, and I don't know if they're going to be able to blow them out by 10.5 points. So this probably isn't a play that's going to go in the pinned comment, but I do think the Blazers are really, really banged up right now. They're not going to have their best team out there by any stretch of the imagination. They are in a bounce back spot after, a lot of guys having really, really bad games, but I don't know that bounce back is going to come here against the Pacers, because Portland, probably a team that's just ready to get into Thanksgiving and take a little bit of a one-day break from worrying about how bad they are at basketball. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls. They're going on the road to take on the Orlando Magic. The Bulls come into this game, guys. They played last night at Washington, got us a nice blowout win and cover. So thank you, Chicago Bulls, for taking care of business there. Vujacic had a big day, 19 points, 12 rebounds for him. Just a nice outing there for the Bulls, who at 8-11 on the year haven't had the most good things to look at. But yeah, getting a nice matchup here against one of the worst teams in the NBA and the Wizards will make you feel a lot better about yourself. Kobe White had 21 points. Zach LaVine did let us down. He didn't score enough. He was 4 of 8 from 3, had a good night, but he didn't have to play that hard or that many minutes, and only ended up with 18 points. We saw some great things from the bench. Taylor Horton-Tucker putting up 13 points off the pine has to feel great. The Bulls got a comfortable win despite shooting only 35% from 3, and they dominated the board. So very good stuff for the Bulls there in that NBA Cup game. They'll be hoping to duplicate that. They're pretty healthy coming to this one. We do see Patrick Williams listed as out for this game, but other than that, they are healthy, and yeah, he didn't play against the Wizards. It's not confirmed 100% that he won't be playing in this one against the Magic, but it seems pretty unlikely to me. So we'll see what Chicago can do here, playing on back-to-back nights, taking on the Magic, who come into this game winners of their last 3 in a row. They got the 95-84 win there at the Hornets their last time out. They had very few answers for LaMelo Ball, but honestly, guys, at 12-7 on the season with Paolo being out for most of these games, it's got to feel pretty great. We saw Franz Wagner, another solid game from him. Pretty good stuff across the board. He was the only starter to score in double figures, but this team has a deep bench. They had 4 bench guys score in double figures, guys. Mo Wagner continuing to put up great numbers. Cole Anthony was 16 off the bench. We saw Orlando win this game despite getting out-rebounded, which is a little bit surprising. They also shot the ball very poorly from long range. Like, this should have been a real blowout. And yeah, they shot only 12 of 46 from deep. So expecting better shooting from the Magic in this game, guys. They come into this one pretty healthy. Obviously, still no Paolo. Looking like it's going to be no Gary Harris either with his hamstring problem. But guys, this team looking good. This Orlando Magic team is looking pretty good, and the odds makers think so too. That's why the Magic are 10.5-point favorites. We've got an over/under of 223.5. Chicago, they are 8-10 against the spread. Orlando, 11-8 against the spread. I think this is probably a spot we want to side here towards the Chicago Bulls. I think this is going to be a close game. It's double digits. Chicago didn't have to play that hard to get their win against Washington, so go ahead and give me the Bulls and the points in a game that I expect to be pretty competitive, as long as we don't see one of those insane nights from that Orlando Magic defense, which is not impossible, guys, but definitely keep an eye on this one. It has some potential. Next up, we're looking at the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Rockets come into this game fresh off of a nice overtime 117-111 overtime win on the road there against the Timberwolves. Thank you for getting us the win there, Houston. They were in a bounce back spot, and they bounced back pretty great, guys. I mean, we saw Sengun putting up a triple-double in the win, and Van Vliet had 27 points and 11 assists. It was just a great night out there in general for the Houston Rockets. We did seem to have to play pretty heavy minutes, guys, and they had to travel there from Minnesota to Philadelphia. So that's a kind of a long flight, kind of a, I mean, not, super long necessarily, but not great. They're not going to be, super rested for this game, obviously. We saw great stuff from Sengun. Dylan Brooks played well. Van Vliet, like we were saying, Houston shot 40% from 3 and really played well there in overtime to get a 6-point win. So they'll definitely take that one. In terms of their injury report, we don't have it fully updated. We'll see if they end up holding anybody out for this game. So we're going to have to wait for a pick on this one until a little bit closer to game time. In general, guys, though, I don't hate this spot for the Rockets as they go on the road to take on the 76ers, who are coming off a 125-99 loss there against the Clippers, and they're not going to have Embiid or Paul George for this one. So we're going to really see what Maxey and McCain can do out there, just the two of them. The last game did not look amazing. They got blown out by 26 by the Clippers. As a team, they shot only 23% from deep. They got crushed on the boards by the Clippers. Like, things are looking pretty bleak right now if you're a 76ers fan, guys. Caleb Martin also on the injury list for this one. Kyle Lowry going to be out, but that's probably actually a good thing. Caleb Martin, he's questionable with his, continuing back problems. So 76ers getting 4.5 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 214. Houston is 12-6 against the spread. Philadelphia is 4-12 against the spread. Guys, I'm leaning towards the Houston Rockets here at -4.5. I know they're playing on back-to-back nights coming off of an overtime game and having to travel, but I think they're going to want to win this game enough to get the job done. And the 76ers, guys, not a lot of great options out there besides those two guards, and those guys are not going to be playing great defense. So give me the Houston Rockets here at -4.5. Next up, we're looking at the LA Clippers going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. The Clippers come into this game 11-8 on the season, fresh off of a blowout loss there at the hands of the Boston Celtics. There was very little the Clippers could do in that game, guys. Boston was making everything they threw up there. Porzingis did look good in his return, but that wasn't the real impetus behind this. The problem was Boston shooting 43.1% from 3, making 22 of 51 from deep. Not a whole lot you can do against that if you're the Clippers. They were getting some easy buckets on the interior. They were running the offense okay. Zubac had a big game, but it really did not matter when Boston's just making every shot they take. So they're going to look to flush that one out of the system and bounce back here. We do like what we've seen from this team in general this season. They've even looked good here in the absence of Norman Powell. So we'll see if he's going to be back for this game, guys. It's looking relatively unlikely. He's technically questionable for this one with that hamstring issue, but I would think they would probably just want to keep him out through Thanksgiving and give him that extra day and see what he looks like coming back from that one. So we'll see what happens. He's the only Clipper that's on the injury report, though, so that's a very good sign. And just in general, this Clippers team, I mean, at 11-8 on the season has been pretty solid to start the year, which is the opposite of what I would say for their opponent in this game, guys. The Wizards are looking like the worst team in basketball. They've lost 12 in a row. They're coming off of a 127-108 beatdown at the hands of the Chicago Bulls, and that happened last night in Washington. So they didn't have to travel, but they are playing on back-to-back nights. And for an unmotivated, clearly unmotivated team like the Washington Wizards, that is not helpful. That's not a great look. So we'll see what Washington can do in this one, guys. In that game against the Bulls, it was looking pretty rough. Not going to lie, it was looking pretty rough out there. I mean, Sar did have 20 points. That's a good thing. That's a good development. Kuzma put up 23. The bench was all over the place. They shot only 10 of 37 from 3. They ended up getting out-rebounded in this game. They turned the ball over only 12 times, which isn't that bad for a team like Washington, but they just could not keep things close against the Bulls. They played pretty bad defense in general, and that's kind of becoming a mainstay here of the Washington Wizards as they just continue to be just awful this season. So I don't think that's necessarily going to change in this one. We do see Jordan Poole listed as out for this game with that hip issue. We don't have confirmation. There's not a 100% chance that he doesn't play in this game, but how much does Jordan Poole really move the needle for me here for the Wizards? I'm going to say not a whole lot. This team is horrible with or without him. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Clippers are 10-point favorites. We've got an over-under of 223. The Clippers 12-7 against the spread this year. Washington 4-10-1 against the spread. Guys, this is a great spot to take the Clippers. I think this game should be more like 13 or 14. And yeah, the Clippers coming off of a beat down there from the Celtics are going to want to go into Thanksgiving here playing well and on a positive note. I think they come out and absolutely obliterate the tanking Washington Wizards, who really have shown they have nothing to play for and aren't going to be playing for anything this season. Next up, we've got our first nationally televised game of the night. We've got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks there on ESPN. The Knicks come into this game fresh off of dismantling the Denver Nuggets 145-118. The Knicks have won, 5 out of their last 6 overall to get to 10-7 on the year. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, but it looks like things are going to work out here with the Karl Anthony Towns acquisition. He is playing absolutely out of his mind. He put up 30 points against Denver, and we saw OG Anunoby go off for 40 points. Just crazy stuff out there. The Knicks shot the lights out. 19 of 36, that's 52.8% from long range. They did a great job on the boards, out-rebounding Denver by 10. Just nothing that Jokic and company could really do out there in this one, to be honest. I mean, yeah, Westbrook played great off the bench, 27 points off the bench. He's playing fantastically well right now, so we'll see if he can continue that. But the Knicks come into this game playing really well, guys. We saw good stuff coming from the bench. Miles McBride being back is a huge deal for this bench unit, and now things can get on cruise control for the Knicks as they wait to get even better once they have Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson back. So a lot of positives here for the Knicks. A clean bill of health without, except for those two who haven't played this season. So, that's not a big consideration as they go on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks, who come into this game fresh off a 129-119 win there over the Atlanta Hawks. Kyrie had 32 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds in the game, and it was just really good stuff. The Mavs continue to play pretty well. I would say pretty well without Luka, who's been missing some time with that sprained wrist. PJ Washington had 11 points. Najee Marshall's been playing great this season in general. He put up 22 in the win, 23 points from Jaden Hardy. Maxi Kleber had 7 off the bench, but was a plus 15. Spencer Dinwiddie, we have a Spencer Dinwiddie sighting. He's alive, guys. He played 36 minutes in the win and had 22 points, and the Mavs shot 45% from three-point range and out-rebounded Atlanta significantly. So just good stuff across the board for Dallas in that game. Now they have a much tougher matchup here taking on the New York Knicks. The Mavs come into this game pretty banged up, guys. Klay Thompson missed that last game. He's still on the injury report. Luka is on there, guys. He's expected to be reevaluated, basically on this day. So will he play or not is up in the air. I would think it's unlikely, but you never really know, guys. It's hard. It's very difficult to know until we get more concrete news, which will come through tomorrow. So make sure you're checking back on that pinned comment. I will update that if anything, significant changes. Klay Thompson with his foot problem is questionable for this game against the Knicks, and Derek Lively, the second, guys, he's dealing with an illness. He is also questionable. So it's not going to be the full strength Mavs. And looking at the numbers for this game, it seems like the odds makers are expecting some of these guys to miss this game because Dallas is getting 4 points here playing at home. We've got an over-under of 233.5. The Knicks 8-1 against the spread. Dallas 9-1 against the spread. I'm leaning here towards the New York Knicks at -4. I think this is a pretty good spot for them. I know they're, maybe in a letdown spot coming off of a massive win, but that shouldn't be too much of a letdown spot for them. After that win against Denver, maybe a little bit, but the Mavs are also in a letdown spot after that big win for them. So yeah, leaning towards the Knicks for sure in this one. Now let's take a look at the Detroit Pistons. They're going on the road to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Pistons come into this game fresh off of a 102-100 win there over the Toronto Raptors. So a very nice win over a feisty Raptors team. The Pistons are now 8-11 on the season as they, try to regain some respectability as a franchise. Ivy hitting that game winner as time expired. Pretty awesome stuff there if you're a Pistons fan, guys. Nice to see some positivity. They deserve it after the depths of hell they went through last year under Monty Williams. We saw very good, just generally speaking, pretty good play from all the starters, double figures across the board. Tobias Harris, 3 of 10 in his 37 minutes, though. Has there been a more overrated player in the NBA? I don't know. That seems a little bit of a big ask, but they did all this without Cade Cunningham, which has to feel pretty good. The bench did some positive things, but I mean, big negative numbers in the plus-minus department for the bench. So definitely the bench unit, something that needs to be addressed here for the Pistons, but they got the win. They've got to feel good about that. They come into this game with Cade and Tobias Harris both on the injury report. Cade with his hip problem is doubtful to go up against Memphis in this one, and Tobias Harris, don't really care if he plays or not. If I'm being honest, he is questionable with a left hip impingement as well. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Grizzlies, who are now 11-7 on the year. They've won 3 in a row. Ja came back and had 22 points and 11 assists in his return, and they beat the Trailblazers in a blowout. So yeah, it was the Trailblazers. I'm not going to freak out about that. This 3-game winning streak they're on is against some of the worst teams in the NBA, but they are winning these games. You deserve some credit. Jaren Jackson Jr. played well. The Grizzlies shot 43% from three-point range. Ja came back and played well. Things are looking good here for Memphis. Ja Morant is on the injury report for this game, guys. It looks like they're going to hold him out for this one with a left knee contusion. So no Ja for this game, unfortunately, for the Grizzlies. They should have pretty much everybody else. It looks like Zach Edey will also still be sidelined, but he, he's coming back sooner rather than later, according to the imaging, but won't be back for this game. So looking at the numbers, we see the Grizzlies are -8.5 in this one. We've got an over/under of 227. Detroit 9-1 against the spread. Memphis 12-6 against the spread this season. Like I said, Memphis continues to play well against these bad teams, but I do think at the moment that Detroit is actually slightly better than what we've been seeing the Grizzlies face. I mean, wins over Portland, the Bulls, and the 76ers. Are the Pistons worse than those teams? It seems like a questionable thing to me. I'm going to be leaning here towards the Pistons and the points a little bit. I think there's a good chance we see them keep this thing, relatively competitive down the stretch. They only need it to be like a 4-possession game, and they should be in good shape. So give me the Pistons and the points in this one in a game where the Grizzlies will not have Ja Morant. Moving right along, guys, we've got the Sacramento Kings. They're going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Kings come into this game fresh off another loss. They've actually lost 4 in a row, losing to the Thunder, Nets, Clippers, Hawks. Yeah, over that stretch, not great. I mean, obviously losing to the Thunder isn't a terrible look, but you're a team that wants to be competing with the best teams in the West, and that's just not what's going on right now. This DeMar DeRozan acquisition is looking a little bit sketchy in their loss to the Thunder, guys. I mean, we saw DeRozan, he got up 21 shots, scored 30 points, and they lost the game by 21. I don't know why DeMar DeRozan has refused over the course of his career to ever start shooting threes, but bro, you need to shoot threes in the modern NBA. You were 0 of 2 from deep. That's not going to work. The Kings shot 25% from 3. That's not going to win you games against these good teams like the Thunder. You need to be getting up some threes. You need to be shooting 30 to 40 threes per game if you have even close to the personnel to handle it. Fox deferring here to Murray down the stretch in games. It does not look good to me. He only scored 14 points, was a -22 out there, so problems right now for the Sacramento Kings. They need to right the ship. It looks like DeMar DeRozan is going to be out for this game, and to be honest, that could end up being a good thing. He's dealing with a lower back injury, so we'll see what the Kings can do here going on the road to take on the Timberwolves, who come into this game 8-9 on the season. They are looking like the butt of the joke there from that Karl Anthony Towns trade, because they've now lost 3 in a row. They're just really, really struggling out there. Like, cool, you've still got Rudy Gobert? Yikes. He just got swatted by Jabari Smith Jr. The Timberwolves lost in overtime to Houston. They didn't have to travel, but they still played an overtime game. Just not loving what we're seeing from Minnesota right now. I mean, yeah, just Anthony Edwards doing what he can, but yeah, Julius Randle not looking like a great acquisition. Anthony Edwards not shooting the ball incredibly well from 3. He put up 29 points. The bench looked amazing, and they still lost this game. So not a lot of good things happening right now for Minnesota. They come into this one with Mike Conley still on the injury list. He's listed as out for this game. Yeah, he's been ruled. Well, he didn't play in Tuesday's game. He was ruled out for that. We don't have an official, status for him for this one, but I think it's a little bit unlikely he plays in this game. So we'll see what happens here. Not loving this spot for the Timberwolves, who are getting 5.5 points. Sacramento's only 6-11-1 against the spread. Minnesota's 6-10 against the spread, though. Give me the Sacramento Kings here. I think they're in a great spot here with DeRozan out. I think they'll be able to play up pace. Fox won't have to be worrying about deferring. They're going to spread the court. They're going to shoot the ball Give me the Sacramento Kings getting 5.5 here against what has to be a very tired Minnesota Timberwolves team. Moving on here, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Raptors. They're going on the road to take on the hapless New Orleans Pelicans. The Raptors come into this game losers of 2 in a row. They just lost via that buzzer beater there against the Pistons. So that's got to be a little bit of a tough loss. And at 4-14 on the year, they're not doing amazing, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, guys. This squad was supposed to be losing games, but we're seeing a lot of bright spots here from this team. They've got a lot of very exciting young talent. We've seen RJ Barrett play really well this year. We've seen Scotty Barnes coming back from injury. He's looking pretty good. We've got Quickly barely even playing this season. He's an interesting young piece. We've seen just very good. I mean, Jakob Poeltl has had some massive games this year. He's coming off a bad game, but overall, we like what we've seen from the Raptors. They ended up winning the battle of the boards there against the Pistons, but ended up coming out on the short end. Grady Dick listed as out for this game. Bruce Brown also continues to be sidelined. Grady Dick not going to be playing in this one, and Bruce Brown, he's been ruled out for the Wednesday game against the Pelicans as well. So neither one of them is going to be there, but overall, things are still looking pretty okay for the Toronto Raptors as they go on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans, who are finally going to have Dejounte Murray back. The Pelicans have lost 5 straight games, albeit against some tough competition, but still, it's been pretty bleak out there for the Pelicans. They just lost 114-110 there against the Pacers in a game where, we finally saw Tyrese Halliburton come alive, but McCollum being back, Trey Murphy put up 24 points in the loss. He was a plus 14 out there. We got a plus 10 from Elfrid Payton, who's revived his career at 21 assists in that game. So bonkers stuff. The Pelicans just couldn't knock down enough threes to win this game, but they did a lot of good things, and now they're getting Dejounte Murray back, so a lot of positive developments here coming up for the Pelicans, who come into this game still not going to have, their full increment of players. We'll see if Brandon Ingram plays in this one. He's questionable there with that calf issue. We'll see if Jordan Hawkins plays in this game as well. He's been on the injury report. He's questionable with his back spasms, so you don't really know how those are going to go, and Trey Murphy finds himself on the injury report as well. He's questionable due to left knee contusion. So gonna have to wait on this one to see who's actually going to be available here. But guys, I think this might be a spot to take the Raptors getting 4 points. I haven't loved what I've seen from the Pelicans. If they end up with a bunch of people sidelined, this will be a game we definitely like. The Raptors, who are 12-6 against the spread this year, a great number. New Orleans only 6-12 against the spread. So leaning towards the Raptors here, but we have to see more injury news. Moving right along, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers. They're going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers come into this game looking like it's going to be fresh off of getting blown out there by the Phoenix Suns. There's still 6.5 minutes left here at time of recording, so not expecting a miracle comeback from the Lakers, who have been having a very rough time recently. I don't know what's going on with them, guys. This will be their 3rd straight loss. Getting into, Thanksgiving and stuff like that, I kind of would expect to see this team doing a little bit better, but a lot of, I'm not going to say glaring weaknesses, but definitely some weaknesses for this roster in general. We don't have a very updated injury report for them, obviously, since they're still playing right now. It's looking like it's going to be not a great shooting day for the Lakers out there. I mean, Austin Reeves 2 of 4 from deep, but nobody else having a particularly great shooting night. LeBron and Anthony Davis trying to carry the load here, but they can only do so much. And the Suns, guys, are not missing. Kevin Durant absolutely killing it out there. He's got 19 points so far. We still need him to score a few more points in this one. It would feel like quite the bad beat if he can't get over that number that we had for him. What was it, 23.5? Yeah, he had a lot of points headed into halftime, was shooting the ball very, very well. He's sitting at 19. Him getting that many more points, I don't know, he's got to get 4 more points, 5 more points. We'll see, guys. It's going to come down to the wire. So hopefully we hit that. But regardless, it's going to be a big win here for the Phoenix Suns, and the Lakers continue to struggle. So we'll see what they can do going on the road, playing on back-to-back nights here. They played in Phoenix. Now they're going to play in San Antonio. So it's going to be a pretty short trip. San Antonio played last week in Utah, so not that long of a trip for them either. The Spurs got the 128-115 win there over the Jazz. We had that one as a premium pick over at stumpthespread.com, so good job there by the Spurs. Very, very good stuff there. Loved what we saw from Wembanyama. He put up 24 points in the first half, and when you win against a team that's like trying to lose games pretty actively, like, I'm not going to freak out too much, but they did what they needed to do. Wemby had 34 points in the win. Chris Paul had 14. Castle had 23 of his own, and we saw the Spurs shoot almost 40% from three-point range, so just a lot of positives out there for San Antonio. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Spurs are getting 2 points playing at home. We've got an over/under of 228. The Lakers are 7-9 against the spread this season. San Antonio 9-8 against the spread. I'm leaning towards the Lakers here in what feels like a bounce back spot, but we need this game to end. We need lots more clarity on the injury report. We don't even know if LeBron and AD will play here on back-to-back nights, so slightly leaning towards the Lakers to bounce back here. But really, guys, we just need more information about this game before we're able to make any sort of, serious serious lean. Next, we're going to take a look at the Brooklyn Nets. They're going on the road here to take on the Phoenix Suns, who look like they're going to be coming off that blowout win there over the Lakers. The Nets have been a surprise this season. They're 8-10 overall. They come into this game fresh off of that 128-120 win there against the Warriors, where they held on late against Steph and company. And yeah, we just saw very, very good stuff from the Nets in general. Schroeder, 31 points. Cam Thomas, 23 points. They shot 44% from three-point range. They, won that game, keeping things basically even on the boards there with the Warriors. They didn't turn the ball over. It was just a very, very good night out there if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan. It's been a good season for you so far, to be honest. They've played really, really well. They do come into this game banged up a little bit. Cam Thomas listed as out for this one. We've got a lot of guys on the injury report, guys. We're going to run through all of them. Don't worry. Cam Thomas listed as out for this game, left hamstring soreness. So, yeah, you don't want to be messing around too hard with a hamstring injury. He's not going to be playing in this one. Cameron Johnson's been playing amazing. He's questionable with a right ankle sprain, so might not see him out there. And Dorian Finney-Smith, guys, he is also questionable. He's got an ankle problem. And Nick Claxton's on the injury report. He's questionable with his back problems. So, a lot of issues there for the Nets. We don't have very much clarity on who's going to even be available to play for them in this game. So, going to need more information about that. And we're going to need more information about the Suns, who look like they're going to be coming into this game fresh off of a blowout win. I mean, they're 9-7 on the season, looking like they're going to be 10-7. They're playing really well. KD looking great in his return from injury. And just across the board, they're playing well in this game. Not a whole lot, of negative things to say about that. Booker and Beal both playing great. We see them shooting very well from the field. As a team, the Suns are shooting 42% from three so far in the game. They're, staying even there on the boards. Just a lot of positive things here for the Suns. So we'll see what they look like playing on back-to-back nights. The odds makers think they're going to look good. They're making them 7.5-point favorites. I would say I would love the Brooklyn Nets in this spot, if depending on who plays. We just can't know right now who's going to be suiting up for this game. If it's close to the full squad there for the Nets, getting 7.5 points here against Phoenix feels like something of a gift. Brooklyn is the deeper team. They're not more talented necessarily, but they've got some guys that can put the ball in the hoop, and they're 12-5-1 against the spread this season for a reason. Phoenix is only 5-11 against the spread, and they haven't been particularly good against the spread when playing at home either. So definitely give me the Nets in this game, but I'm not putting it in the pinned comment until I find out more injury news. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we are looking at the Denver Nuggets. They're going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. The Nuggets come into this game in a huge bounce-back spot, guys. It was rough out there. They lost that game 145-118. The Knicks just could not miss. We have Jamal Murray having kind of a weird press conference, but whatever. I think the Nuggets are actually going to be okay. They're, without Aaron Gordon right now. I think things are going to turn around. And what do you want them to do against a Knicks team that's going to shoot 53 almost percent from three-point range? Like, when a team's going to make all their shots like that, you're going to take some losses. That's how life works in the NBA. Denver shot 33% from three. We saw Murray and Jokic both scored at least 20 points in this game. We saw Russell Westbrook continue to play great off the bench. He put up 27 points. I think this team is going to be all right once they get back to full strength. And that's not going to be, happening yet. We still see, they're not going to have Aaron Gordon for quite a while, but he is going to be back this season. But they clearly want to remain cautious with him. There's no reason to put a timetable on this. This team's going to be okay while he's gone. They're going to figure it out. He'll play again. He aggravated on November 4th. It's going to be a bit. But once he's back, I think that's going to help his team a lot. And it's not like we need to alert the police right now. They're going to be okay. We see Peyton Watson on the injury report for this one. He's listed as day-to-day with his hip issue, but he's probable for this game. So I think we'll see him out there as they go on the road to take on the Utah Jazz, who are 4-13 on the season. They're coming off that 128-115 loss. They played at home last night against the Spurs, so they didn't have to travel. They just have to sit there and wait for the Denver Nuggets to show up. Didn't love what we saw from the Spurs, guys. Markkanen had a terrible night shooting the ball. Keontae George did have a nice day, but other than that, Colin Sexton continues to put up his numbers, but they lost this game convincingly despite shooting almost 40% from three. They out-rebounded their opponent and still lost. This is not a team that's trying to win games right now. Denver only 6-9-1 against the spread. Utah 8-9 against the spread. The Jazz are getting 7.5 points in this game. We've got an over-under of 234. Guys, I definitely like the Denver Nuggets to bounce back here and get a convincing win against the Jazz. Give me the Nuggets at -7.5. I think we see a massive game from Jokic and company. They're going to bounce back in this one. They're not going to be hanging their heads. I think we'll see big stuff from Westbrook in this game, as well as there's not a whole lot of guys out there for the Jazz. They're going to be staying in front of him. So give me the Nuggets to get a convincing win and cover in this one. Last but not least, guys, we have our final nationally televised game of the day. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors. The Thunder come into this game fresh off of a 130-109 beat down there against the Sacramento Kings. The Thunder are 13-4 on the season, and they're not anywhere near full strength, so they'll definitely take that. Obviously, getting Hartenstein back has been a huge deal for this team. He had 19 points and 10 rebounds and 4 assists in the game. We saw SGA go off for 37 in the win. Kyners Williams had 10 points coming off the bench. The bench continues to look a little bit mediocre, but as a team, guys, the Thunder shot 45% from the field. They out-rebounded the Kings significantly, and we're just very Jalen Williams continues to ball. Like, this Thunder team is looking borderline unstoppable at the moment, and they don't even have Alex Caruso. They haven't had their premier, big man recently. I mean, Chet Holmgren's been out for a bit. Getting Hartenstein back is a huge deal. I couldn't believe when they got Hartenstein there in the offseason. So the loaded Oklahoma City Thunder, they're looking absolutely fine right now as they go on the road to take on the Warriors, who've suddenly lost 2 in a row to fall to 12-5 on the season, falling 128-120 there against the Nets. Not the best look. Maybe it was a bit of a look-ahead spot there for the Warriors, who just could not figure things out there. They didn't have a good answer for Schroeder. The Nets in general shot the ball really, really well, and the Warriors lost this game despite shooting 41.3%, 19 of 46 from the field. They couldn't get to the free throw line. They did win the battle of the boards. They did okay there. Steph really had to do the heavy lifting in this game, though. Wiggins was helping him. He was playing well. Lindy Waters finally making some shots. Draymond looking real bad there at the free throw line at times. That was a big problem. The Warriors shot only 11 of 17 from the free throw line, and nobody besides Moses Moody really played very well coming off the bench. It was an off shooting night there for Buddy Hield, so we'll see if they can bounce back here, but it is against one of the toughest opponents in the NBA. The Warriors are getting 2.5 points in this game, and we see that they're, Curry is on the injury list. So is Kuminga here. That's a couple pretty big concerns here. I mean, Curry right now, he's dealing with a knee issue. He's questionable. We'll see if he plays in this game. I think he probably will with the off day coming up. Kuminga still dealing with an illness. You would think he would finally be back for this one, but no way to know yet for sure. So this game very much, depends a lot on whether or not Curry plays, but it might not matter. The Warriors are getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got an over-under of 227.5. Both teams are 10-7 against the spread this year. Guys, I'm siding with the Oklahoma City Thunder here at -2.5. I just don't really feel like the Warriors are up to this task. They've got a lot of good players. They only have one great player anymore, and we'll see if Curry can really go nuts and earn him the win here, but I think the Warriors are going to have a lot of problems on defense against a very good Oklahoma City Thunder squad, and I don't think there's anybody on the Warriors that's going to have a very good time trying to guard Hartenstein. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Don't forget to get over to Stump the Spread and check out all of our Black Friday deals. You can get a big discount, and this is one of the best times of the year to be getting that discount. Also, be checking back, guys. We're going to have a Thanksgiving video out for all the football games there on Thanksgiving, going and deep dives with player props, all that kind of stuff. That video will be available early to all of our channel members as well. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate or on that Thanksgiving slate. And thank you for watching. You can click the link in the description, like I said, to check out stumpthespread.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.